Hello my friend, thanks for stopping by. Hope you're all having a great day. Today I am going to make for you for dinner tonight I am making some sort of whole grain. I haven't decided if I'm going to use wheat berry, barley. I'll let you know as we go along. But I wanted to make my dressing right now because I always like to make that in advance because the flavors then really, they just fall in love with each other and it makes for a better dressing. So tonight's is going to be like a mustard caper vinaigrette. Lou loves caper. I will not be eating the same thing as Lou tonight because I'm making shrimp. So I will make myself a different salad. I may record it so that I can show it to you next week. Anyway, so you'll need some capers for this. You will also need some Dijon mustard. You will need a vinegar. I'm going to use this is a white wine vinegar. I like it the way it tastes with the Dijon mustard. Or you can use a champagne wine vinegar. You could use red wine vinegar if you'd like. Balsamic would be too earthy for this meal, so stick with your whiter vinegars. You could try an apple cider vinegar, but I think that your more mellow white vinegars will be better. Okay? So anyway, I'm going to be using my Wegmans extra virgin olive oil, and this is the Sicilian because it has a buttery olive taste to it, and I like it. They have 3 different flavors in this, and I like the pepper and this one. Anyway, we're going to start off with, you'll need a jar with a lid. I love mason jars for this reason. I'm going to start out with 2/3 cup of olive oil, and into that olive oil, well, let's just pour it right into the mason jar. And then I'm going to take 2 garlic cloves, which I've already peeled, and I'm going to put them into my garlic press, and I'm just going to hold it right over. I hope you see you can. I'm going to hold it right over so that all the juices go right into the olive oil. Squeeze it. Then I am going to take my knife and I am going to just slice off all that garlic. And I'm going to make sure that I got it all. There we go. Okay, slice off what's there, and we have some beautiful garlic going in there. I love garlic. Did you know, little tip for you, I didn't do it today, but for those of us who don't want garlic breath, if you take that center little cord or stem out of a garlic clove, you won't have garlic breath the next day. I've done it several times. I hold on to garlic. Whew. You could put me in the ground and plant me and I would sprout garlic for you. I hold on to it really a lot. Okay, so now, well, let's take our lemon juice. We'll get our liquids going here. We're going to put, you can use fresh lemon. I don't have a lemon, so I'm just going to use my organic 100% lemon juice. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons in, give or take. You know, make the dressing, see how it tastes to you, see what you like. Maybe you'll like less lemon in it, more vinegar, less mustard, whatever you like. Remember, it is going to be your salad, so you may as well love it. All right, so I'm going to put my vinegar, which I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of this also, into the mix. So 2 tablespoons of the Tuscan white wine vinegar, or whatever vinegar you choose to use. That is totally up to you. Okay, and then the next step is going to be, let me get my teaspoon. Now this is where you have to be careful because I think that Dijon mustard can overpower something if you use too much of it. So I want 2 teaspoons of this, and I'm not going to be generous with them, okay? Lou loves Dijon mustard dressings. I have another one that I make that I use Italian herbs with, and he just loves it. Actually, last week's dinner, the dressing, I'm making this actually the next day. Last night's dinner you saw on Sunday, but I actually am just recording every dinner every night to do for my healthy zones. But anyway, he texted me at lunch, he said, I love this dressing. So, you gotta please your family and your man and all those kind of things, and if it's through food, why not? Okay, so now we're gonna take some capers, okay? This is the part that, you know, makes the dressing different, because you could leave it at this and just put salt and pepper and a couple of herbs in it and you'd have yourself a beautiful dressing. But we are going to take some of the capers. We're going to use just about, that's got a little bit of lemon juice, it's okay. All right, we got to clean it up a little. Okay, I'm just going to take about a tablespoon of the capers, and I'm going to measure them so that they just fill. Okay, the measuring spoon. I have to remember I'm recording myself. I'm just not standing in my kitchen by myself, although I've been known to talk to myself. Okay, so then I'm just going to take a knife and we're going to mince our capers and mince them up really good. And if you're not sure how to hold a knife and your fingers so that you don't chop them off, hold your knife like this, not like this, not way up here. Hold your knife right where the base of the knife is. Your finger just starts to touch the metal. Curl your fingers in. So bring your food, curl your fingers under, and just mince. And as you're mincing, you just roll your fingers back so that you're not chopping your fingernails off. And then you can just do like so. And I like to mince these up pretty good so that they really distribute, and then it goes on every part of the salad. Okay, so mince them up really fine, and then we're just going to take those and we're going to put them into the dressing. Louis is going to love this. He's going to feel like a king when he comes home. Okay, I see there's a little oil left in my oil thing, so I'm going to put that in there. So now we're going to take some salt and pepper, and I'm just going to take a pinch of pepper and a pinch of salt. I use sea salt. You can use, I use pink Himalayan actually. A lot of people don't understand the difference in salts from table salt to Himalayan salt. It's just the mineral content in it, that's it. Now we're just going to put our lid on it, and we want to shake it up to emulsify. And we're going to let this dressing sit, and it's just going to all be beautiful. You know what, I forgot, I didn't put, see, I always forget something and then I'll go, oh wait, I forgot that. All right, so what we're gonna do here is I'm just gonna open it back up. Now this, sometimes I put too much in when I do it, so you just want to have a little dribble. That is it, little dribble. It just brings it together a little bit, not too much because then it overpowers. And then we're just going to shake it up really well, and you have a beautiful creamy dressing waiting to go. Now I will put this in the fridge. It's now 2:30 in the afternoon. This will sit for a good 3-4 hours before we actually eat it, so the flavors will go together. And you can keep this in the fridge for up to a week, okay? So I'll be back. Okay, I came back just to show you. I've decided on using farro as my grain for tonight. Farro has a very chewy texture to it. It dates back 10,000 years ago. It is a Mediterranean grain. It is part of the wheat family, but it adds texture. So we're having a very lightweight meal that's also going to have a couple of other things in it. When I show you the shrimp and everything else you'll need, you will see what I mean, because I picked all, like we're going to be using artichoke hearts, some sliced tomatoes, maybe some green beans, you know, I'm just going to throw a couple of things in there. But they all work well with the farro. And farro cooks in about 35 minutes, so you can time it for your dinner to make sure that it's ready just as you need. You let it cook for 35 minutes, and then you'll let it sit for 10 minutes to absorb the excess water. Now I do use a rice maker. It just makes cooking all grains much easier. But if you're doing it stovetop, just be sure to allow 45 minutes in advance for your farro to completely cook. And it's not a soft texture. It's not hard, but it is a chewy texture to it. It has a chewy texture. Okay, so I will be back to show you. I have to, unfortunately, I bought the shrimp, and I hate when it's not deveined. So I'm going to devein the shrimp, and then I'm going to put it in a light marinade, which I will share with you. I'm not going to do the deveining and everything on camera. That is just gross. But anyway, I'm going to do that, and then I will be back and show you all the other ingredients that you'll need. Okay? Hello my friends, I'm back. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I have peeled all of the shrimp, and I'm just going to do a very simple olive oil, salt and pepper marinade for the shrimp. And you just use the amount of shrimp you need for your family. I have just Lou, so I probably have a dozen shrimp here that I will put in this salad, this dinner that I'm making him, and any leftovers he may take for his lunch tomorrow. You never know. All right, so we're just going to put some olive oil in there, and then I'm going to do a little bit of salt and pepper, but I think I'm going to hold off on the salt until I actually go to cook it. So I will just put the fresh ground black pepper in there. And then we are just going to, let me get my spatula, where my farro is cooking over in my rice maker. And I have a, it's a Japanese make of my rice maker. I find it to be the best. I bought it at Williams-Sonoma. All right, so I'm just going to stir to incorporate the olive oil. You don't have to really flavor the shrimp a lot because the dressing is going to have so many wonderful flavors. So we're just going to do that. Excuse me. And somebody's going to make a comment. You coughed over that food. Well, I didn't really like this. Okay. Anyway, you will also need for this recipe, which I've already done, these are sliced almonds which I toasted. I just used a pan on the top of the stove and tossed them until they were golden, and that you will need. You will also need some artichoke hearts, and I just go to Wegmans in the bulk department. They sell plain artichoke hearts, so I bought some of those. You will also need some green beans. If your family does not like green beans, you can use asparagus. You can pretty much use any vegetable you like in here. Zucchini would be nice. I would grill the zucchini versus steaming it. I think grilling zucchini with just a little olive oil and salt and pepper gives it a much nicer flavor. And another thing you want to do is you don't want your vegetables to be overcooked. Your vegetables should be just cooked to perfection. First of all, you get most of the nutrients from them. That we overcook them, they start to turn yellow. They should be green. But you can salt the water a little and that'll keep them bright green. But anyway, I have a bag of trimmed, already cleaned and cut organic green beans that I'll be using for this recipe. You will also need some fresh basil leaves, which I have already cleaned. They're from my garden. And then you can use mint, but I like spearmint. So you will need some fresh mint or spearmint, totally up to you, which we're going to dice later or chiffonade and put in the finished product. You will also need some lovely grape tomatoes, and I like to use an assortment of colors. So I have yellow, orange, and red here, which we will slice in half and throw into the salad. Now this salad, the farro will be warm to the touch, the shrimp will be on the hotter side, but you can make this in advance and serve it chilled if you like cold shrimp. But for Louis, it's going to be a warm dish tonight, okay? So I'm going to continue to prep, and perhaps, I think I'm going to come back and record my salad I'm going to have, and then I'll come back and do the finished product for you, okay? Because I have to grill my shrimp. It makes it easier for me if I just do it in advance and tell you what I did, instead of, you know, standing over the stove cooking, having to move my camera around. This makes it a lot easier for me to continue to do these kind of videos. So I will be back. Okay, my friends, I'm back, and it's time to assemble the meal. I have my farro that cooked in my rice maker. I'm going to take about a cup of it and put it in a separate bowl. We'll put this off to the side. And then I am going to take the tomatoes that I diced up, throw those in there. Okay, I am going to take the green beans, which I have just slightly steamed, put those in the bowl. And then I am going to take the artichoke hearts, which I grilled on a grill pan here in the kitchen. I'm just going to put those there. And then I am going to take it and just toss it lightly, so that I've mixed it all up with the grains. I'm going to put a little bit of the roasted or toasted, because I did them in a pan, sliced almonds. And then we have our beautiful shrimp here, which I'm going to just put in the whole mix. Whoops, whoops. We saved it, it didn't go anywhere. Okay, then I'm just going to toss all of this together. Now here you're going to take some of your dressing that you prepared earlier, and you are going to just really, you're going to pour, don't worry about pouring too much. It's homemade, it's healthy, he's a man. And then you're just going to toss all of those flavors together. Okay, and we're just going to set that off to the side so it can soak up all the flavors. now I'm going to take some basil. I'm going to take about 3 good sized leaves, and I'm going to roll them up like a cigar so that I can chiffonade them. Just a fancy word for slice. And we're just going to slice it really thin. Okay. Then we're going to take half of that. We'll put it over. We're going to take some of our spearmint leaves. Now remember, you can use just plain mint if you'd like. And I think that the mint adds a little bit of fresh cleanness to the actual meal. So I'm just going to dice it up. Now the mint I'm going to dice up very small. We don't want it to be too overpowering. So you just want to get little bites of the mint. Oh, it smells fabulous. I love it. Okay, I'm going to throw that in there. And now I'm going to mix this up so that the basil and the mint all gather together with the other things, or whatever. I don't know. Martha, what am I supposed to say here? Okay, now it looks like a lot because we have vegetables in there, which I never worry about vegetables. I gave him 1 cup of grains. All the rest is vegetable, and there's probably a dozen small shrimp in there. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this aside, and I'm going to plate it up, and I'm just going to pour it nicely onto this plate so that everything is just, he probably won't eat all of this, just so you all know. He'll eat half or something like that, but I always put enough on, and then we're just going to, I like to put some of the shrimp on the top so it looks pretty. And we're going to put some fresh pepper on there. And then Joelle sends me this wonderful French salt. I'm just going to put a touch of it on the top. It is amazing how this brings out the flavor. I think you could probably go to Williams-Sonoma and find something really nice. And then I'm just going to sprinkle a little touch of the almonds over it, just to give it a visual beautiful look to it. And that, my friends, is a beautiful, healthy meal. It has beautiful olive oil in it, lots of flavor with the garlic and the Dijon mustard, artichoke hearts, sliced tomatoes, shrimp, green beans, and a beautiful whole grain named farro. So go ahead and make this for your family. They will love it. All right, so thanks for stopping by. Don't forget, subscribe. We're anti-aging here, creating wonderful, healthy meals. Go out in the world, be happy, be healthy, be beautiful, and most of all, my friends, be lovable. I love you all. Bon appetit. Bisous.